Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining early. We have 2 more minutes left, then we'll start the session. Yeah, thank you for asking that question, Mr. Satya, how to use SEL in the classroom. So this session is all about that. So this session is going to offer you practical insights and some ideas and strategies that you can use to make your classroom environments into thriving learning environments. Good evening. In 1 minute, we'll start the session. So the first thing that we'll be doing is doing our introduction. So please wait for all the other members to join. As we will be doing the introduction, there will be other members who would be joining. So we will ask everybody to introduce themselves, and then we will start the session. We have now 18 members. All right, everybody, it's time. It's 6 o'clock. We would be starting the session now. So before I start the session, right on time, I would start this session with my introduction. I am Dr. Amjad Razal. I work at Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education as Head of Research and Programs. And K-Site organization is in Hyderabad. Now I would request all the other members to please use the chat and introduce yourself. So what you're going to do is you have to tell me your name and the organization you work for and the location you're joining from. Use this format to introduce yourself. First, mention your full name, the name of the organization, and where you're joining us from. Please use the chat to introduce yourself. Okay, we have one. I am Amara Shri, working as SEL SK teacher in Kennedy High, the Global School, Hyderabad. Welcome to the session. Rutuja Udawant. So please mention your name of the organization and also where you're joining us from. So Abby Matthew, Principal, Shantal Jyoti, Public School, Muttam. Okay. Thank you for joining. Ram Bishwash Giri, Sri Rani Saraswati Vidya Mandir. And you're joining us from Bihar. Welcome to the session. So Komal, we have Miss Komal Pagare, and she's joining from Pudar International School. Welcome to the session. Sarita Yadav from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Welcome to the session, ma'am. Mr. Kumar Rudra from Amber International School, Thane, Maharashtra. Welcome to the session. Okay, I'm Lizette, as a teacher at Laval Bilingual High School in Douala, Cameroon. Thank you for joining the session. Shiba Khan from BBPS Nishatpura, Bhopal. Welcome to the session. Leela Shandilia, TGT. You work as a TGT teacher biology for Bal Bharati Public School, Nishatpura, Bhopal. Welcome to the session. Good evening. I'm Racha Katla Srikara Bhavya from Delhi Public School, Ghatkesa. Welcome to the session. Avinash Khule, Pudar International School. Welcome to the session. Maheshwari from Kennedy, the Global School, Hyderabad. Welcome to the session. Neha Sharma, you work as a teacher at Bal Bharati Public School. Welcome to the session. Rutuja Udavan from Podar International School. Welcome to the session. Durga Prasanna ji, Delhi School of Excellence, Hyderabad. Welcome to the session. And we have Nuku Leko Sibanda, lecturer at Zimbabwe Open University from Zimbabwe. Thank you and welcome to the session. Preeta P, AIS English Medium School, Kerala. Welcome to the session. I'm apologizing if I'm mispronouncing the names. So please adjust with me for this moment. So Almas from Amber School, Thane. Welcome to the session. Good evening. Akanksha Mishra from Bal Bharati Public School, Nishadpura. Welcome to the session. Sabia Yasmin from Keystone School. Welcome to the session. Then we have Asta Yadav from Bal Bharati Public School, Nishadpura, Bhopal. Welcome to the session. Then we have Bidisha Sar from St. Aloysius School, Jabalpur. Okay, welcome to the session. That's it. How many members do we have? 37. We have 37 members, and I think I read the introduction from only like 15, 20 people. So I request all the other members who have joined just now, please type in the chat, introduce yourself by mentioning your name, the name of the organization you work for, and where you are joining us from. Just three things, you're going to mention now. Quickly, we have another 1 minute. So in the next minute, we'll start the session. We have Veena Mold from AIS English Medium School, Kerala. Welcome to the session. Good evening, Miss Bhagyashri Rayate from Podar International School. Welcome to the session. That's it. If you can hear me, give me a quick thumbs up in the chat. If you can hear me, give me a quick thumbs up in the chat because somebody said they are not able to hear me. Okay, thank you. So Miss Sabia Yasmin, I think you can rejoin the session. Maybe there is some technical problem. I got the notification that some people who left and then joined. So some settings have been disabled for them. So please rejoin the session so you could hear me. Mrs. Jolie Banafar from Jabalpur. Thank you, and welcome to the session. Prachi Girdhar, the Icon School, Ahmednagar. Welcome to the session. Nandini, AIS English Medium School from Kerala. Welcome to the session. Okay, that's it. Okay, the people who have joined later, like after 6, 1, and 6 p.m. So I am Amjad Razal. I work as a head of research and programs at Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education. So this organization is in Hyderabad. So I am conducting this session from Hyderabad. Okay, and before I begin with the session, I would also like to request the other members who joined the session before, because we conducted the session on 26th of October and 19th of October. So are there any members today who are joining for the second time or maybe the third time? So please, maybe in the chat mention like yes, or maybe second time or the third time. Okay, thank you, Ms. Maheshwari. Thank you so much for joining the session. We have one more person, Sonali from Bal Bharati School, Bhopal. Thank you. And we have Ms. Nusrat also. She is also joining for the second time. Mr. Abhi Matthew also joining us for the second time. Thank you so much for joining for the second time, for joining us today also. Sarita Yadav, you're joining for the first time. Thank you so much for joining, ma'am. Amara Shri, you are also joining for the second time. And yeah, there are, I think, many people who are joining for the second time. And there is one person, Mr. Satya, he is joining for the third time. Thank you so much, Mr. Satya, for joining us for the second and the third time. I hope all the previous sessions, have been really insightful to you. And I'm really excited for this session also. And now I can see there are other members who are joining this session for the first time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining for the first time today. I really appreciate that you are ending this week by investing your time into learning something. And the people who have joined for the second time and the third time, thank you so much for having the trust and joining us and learning something from us. So I will definitely do my best to offer you some good insights today so that the people who have joined today for the first time and the people who joined for the second and the third time, you will definitely gain something from these sessions and you go back to your classes, you learn, you implement, and then you help your learners. That's it. I'm starting the session. Okay, all right. The introduction was done, and now there are some rules, some setting for this particular webinar, and I would definitely request all the members to follow this. Keep your microphone on mute while the presenter is speaking. I would definitely allow you to talk, okay? Whenever you have something to clarify, something to ask, so I'll definitely give you the time and space to clarify your doubts. Use the chat to quickly ask for clarification. The chat is open for everybody. So if you have anything to ask, immediately, you can type in your question and I will read that out. I'll definitely clarify that. Use the hand raise emoji to ask anything. You also have the option to use the hand raise emoji. So I don't have to tell you where you can find them. So anything that you have, maybe just show me a hand raise and then I'll definitely like talk to you. Keep your video on if your internet bandwidth is good. I don't know where you are joining us from. There are people who are joining from Cameroon, somebody is joining from Zimbabwe. So we have people from different parts of the world and then joining from different parts of the world. And in India also, some people are from Kerala, some from Hyderabad, some from Gujarat, some from Bhopal. So different people joining us from different time zones, different locations. So if your bandwidth is good, then only you can keep your video on. Otherwise, please turn that off. When you're asked to answer any question, turn your microphone and speak. You have that opportunity also. I will definitely ask you questions. Okay, so that time you can turn on your microphone. Please do not shy from answering anything here. Nobody is going to judge you, nobody is going to tell anything. If you are asking anything in English, Arabic, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, I know all these languages. So please ask me your question and definitely I'll answer and make use of the time given for clarification. So this is just a little bit about what we are going to do in the next coming minutes. So this is just a setting in the beginning so that we all are aware what we are going to do in the next sessions. Next slides. Now, the most important thing, what is the objective of this particular webinar? So this webinar is going to offer you the insights from research and practical strategies to implement SEL, social emotional learning, in your classrooms. Okay, this particular session is all about making the classroom into a thriving learning environment, not just an environment but a thriving learning environment. Okay, so you will get the insights, strategies, some tools and resources. Maybe you will just get an idea. So when you have an idea, you can go back, you can implement, and then you can see how that really is helping you. Okay, and apart from that, you will also understand at least two SEL techniques to enhance your relationship with the students. Okay, because we just don't want you to be in the classroom. You are building that relationship with the kids. So you will also get the strategies to make your relationship better with the students. This is just the objective of the session. And now we are going to understand. This option came a little early. So now I'm asking this, the same thing that I asked before. Okay. Yes, ma'am. How we can use SEL in the classes for student knowledge? Yes, the session is all about that. So please be here till the end of the session. So you're going to understand that. Now coming back to this particular question, how are you feeling today? Come on, everybody, tell me in the chat. How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling bored? Are you feeling tired? It's end of the week. I've had a very exhausted day today, so you're tired and you're sad. Okay. I see there are people who are mentioning tired and excited, excited, tired, mix of reactions. Yes, excited, relaxed. Okay, great. I need everyone to type in. There are 51 members. Everybody, please let me know. How are you feeling today? Happy, relaxed, tired? Just type your message and send. Excited, great, tired, excited, happy, tired, excited. So we have the balance here. 50% of the people said they're tired, 50% are excited. And some of them, they're also saying, okay, okay. Yeah. I mean, you can't say, but it's just okay, okay. Okay. All right. I'm uneasy, relaxed, happy. Yeah, there are a mix of like feelings and emotions today. So probably you have had a very, engaging day today. So that's why you are feeling tired. And at the same time, I would say you are excited for the session, right? If I'm right to say this, that you are excited to be here and excited to join this webinar and learn something, understand something today, I guess your excitement is because of that, right? So if I'm right, give me a quick yes. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's move to the next one. If your mood was a weather report, okay, this is the second question. I always do this whenever I conduct these webinars. So the first thing is I want to ask like, how are you feeling? This is very important because in the classrooms also, whenever you go and teach the students, it is important for all of us to know how they are feeling that particular day. Okay, now my next question is if your mood was a weather report, what would that be? So sunny, rainy, stormy, and cloudy. Quickly, come on. Rainy, rainy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, rainy, rainy, cloudy, cloudy, rainy. Wow. So most of the answers are going for sunny and rainy. Sunny, cloudy. Great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for responding. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for saying this. And now moving to the third and the last question today. What's that one thing that you're grateful for today or for this week? You can just type a small text. You don't have to type a whole paragraph. Okay. Just type what is that one for previous sessions. They also mentioned that they are feeling alive, like they're alive. Yeah, just the moment I said, I got this message, I'm alive. My energy, life, yes. Grateful for the life that God has given us today. Like, I met a person who inspired me. Thank you so much. That's really a good perspective. New learning, yes. Meeting friends, awesome. Everybody, I need the responses from all the members. We have how many? 51 members, and I'm getting the messages only like 10, 15 people. So, countless, I'm living a healthy lifestyle by the grace of Almighty God. Great. Countless blessings of Allah. Great. New learning, updating yourself, ourselves. Excited for the session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying this. New learning. All right. All right. That's it. Being healthy and updating myself. Thank you, everybody, for saying this. Now we'll move to the next part. Okay. This session is all about this particular thing. Last time also I said social emotional learning is really important for all of us to know. Okay. KSIL, Collaborative for Academic and Social and Emotional Learning. This particular organization is in the US. So they actually started with this concept of social emotional learning. And now they have expanded that to like different parts of the world. So similarly, in India, we have KSIDE, which is Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education. So there are other organizations too, but similar to that global impact to create that kind of an impact. We have KSite. So this organization is also a pioneering organization that promotes SEL, social emotional learning, into education through rigorous research on making meaningful connections between the learner, the self, the community, and the world. So social emotional learning, for the people who have joined for the first time, is to understand yourself and know how to manage yourself, your emotions, your feelings. Okay, not just to express your anger and aggression, your sorrow, your happiness, but knowing when to like let go of things and when to communicate your feelings and express your feelings with the people, and how to build those relationship with the people, not just in your closest circle but also the whole community where you are staying, or the society. So this social emotional learning is also crucial for the students to know, and that is why KSL, KSite, and there are other organizations. These organizations, they focus on training the students, teaching the students to know themselves, understand who they are, what they are, and implement the strategies to make better connections in the world also. So after this, social emotional learning is all about understanding yourself and understanding the emotions and all that. Now there are a few competencies, and I believe understanding the competencies offered by KSIL or any other organization for say so is really important. The first thing that you see on the screen is self-awareness. Okay, the ability to understand one's own emotions, thoughts, values, and how they influence behavior. Okay, this is really important for all of us also. Like in emotional intelligence, we say that you need to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your emotions and thoughts. And that is why teaching social emotional learning at school is also important. Okay, the kids, they get to know what their emotions are. They will also understand what is the reason behind their anger. Okay, what is the reason behind their sorrow and how they should be like dealing with it. Okay, you might have seen that there are some students, when they are sorrow, I mean they're feeling sad, what they do is they just close themselves. They don't open up, they don't play with friends, they don't talk to anybody, they're just sitting silently in the classroom in the corner. Okay, so when we teach social emotional learning, that is when the child understands, okay, I cannot just sit alone in the corner and not mingle with my friends, but I need to know how I should manage myself. Okay, I know what is causing this particular behavior, this particular emotion, this feeling, and how I should be dealing with it, and how I can be part of that circle again that is helping me become better and supporting me in many ways. So after understanding self, I mean the self, the next important thing is understanding how to manage yourself. Okay. So the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behavior in different situations. There could be different situations, right? Anger is a very common thing, aggression, sometimes we are upset with something. So, and at the same time, we are happy on many occasions, right? So understanding how to manage that particular behavior in different situations is also important, right? So that is when even students get to know, I cannot just show my anger just like that to anybody. Okay, just because I like my friend, or maybe I don't like my friend, and my friend is actually saying me few things, that's why I'm getting angry and I'm going out and doing something with to him or her. That is actually wrong, right? That is not acceptable, at any school, let's say. So now, when social emotional learning, this competency is built for the students, they'll understand, okay, I'm angry, so it's okay to be angry, so what do I need to do? So what do I need to do about it? Can I just show my anger? I cannot show my anger. So what should I be doing? So I will be utilizing those strategies, those system, let's say those process, those procedures that will help me understand in what way can manage my anger, in what way I can manage my sorrow, my happiness also. Let's say some kids, when they are too happy, okay, they just do something, okay, in the class which may hurt or may not go well with the other students. Okay, and the same thing happens with us too, right? Just like, yeah, you're absolutely right, Miss Sarita. So just like the students, we also have those behaviors, right? What do we do when we are upset with something? We just don't listen to people, right? We are so stick to that particular thing, that particular behavior or that moment, and we just don't know how to let go of that anger, right? And sometimes we worry too much. Okay, just because during our childhood we were not taught and these competencies were not built. That is the reason why, even if you see, many people, even if they're adults, they do not know how to manage their anger, their aggression, when they are sorrow, when they're upset, so many things. And whatever I said just now, there are research studies, research papers published to say why somebody has done something like that. Okay, everything comes back to social emotional learning and the competency, whether it was built or not built. Okay, after understanding that, the next important thing is social awareness. Okay, I'm part of a group. How should I manage myself there? Okay, how should I talk? How should I listen? How should I appreciate other person's perspective also? Okay, the ability to understand the perspective of others and empathize with people from diverse backgrounds and cultures. This is very important competency for the students also. Let's say I believe something because I live in some region. Okay, how adults understand or how adults learn from different perspective, they read books, okay, intellectual books, they travel to different places, okay, maybe from one country they go to another country, they meet different people from different cultures, different religions, different nationalities, they become part of that community or that society or maybe that particular group where ideas are shared. Whatever I believe in my mind, I'm hearing a slightly different perspective, different opinion about it. And how do I appreciate that? Okay, should I just say, please don't tell me all this? I'm not going to believe all that. I believe what I believe. No. When you are there in the group, you are part of the social circle. So there are different people sitting in the group, there are different opinions coming in, and you just need to listen and appreciate that. Listen and understand that, and acknowledge that. So similarly, if the people who have joined in the previous session, I have said this again and again during the previous session about classrooms. Classrooms are by default a social environment. Okay. So did I say this or not? The people who were there in the previous session, can you tell me? I said this something like this: classroom, classroom, any classroom you say, okay, wherever that is, maybe in the four walls or maybe outside or anywhere, where two or more many children are coming sitting together, that classroom by default is a social environment. Yeah, thank you so much for acknowledging that. Yes. So when the classroom is by default a social environment, what do we do to make the students learn and understand and practice this particular competency? Okay, there is my friend or my classmate who is sitting far away. Maybe I'm sitting in the front bench, and there is a student who is sitting in the back. Okay. So when everybody is clubbed together in some group activity, so how are they talking to one another? How are they sharing their perspectives? And how am I listening to that perspective? Am I acknowledging? Am I not acknowledging? Not just the location, the locality, or the region, or the nationality. In the classroom there are students who are also coming from different financial backgrounds also. Some child may be coming from a very good rich family who is affluent. Okay. And there is a student who is not coming from a rich family, he is maybe middle class or maybe below average, below, I mean middle class, let's say, whatever you say. So when classroom is an environment where everybody is sitting together and learning, how are they reacting, responding, and how are they listening and appreciating each other's perspective? That is a very crucial thing that teachers need to build in the classroom while we are teaching. Okay. After this, the next important thing is building the relationship. So whatever strategies we do in the class, whatever strategy we do in the class, we conduct in the class. So in that social environment, what do we do so that they build that relationship with one another? Okay. So the ability to establish and maintain that healthy relationship. Just because my friend did not agree with something what I said, I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to talk to her. If this is something I do, then I need to know how should I manage myself. It will go back to those particular competencies. So I have to work on my social self management competency, my self awareness competency, and then only I will be able to build the relationship skills properly. Okay. Then the last one out of all these five competencies, all is the responsible decision making. So here it is the ability to make ethical and constructive choices about personal and social behavior. So when two options are given to the students, they have to analyze what are the consequences of first option, what are the consequences of the second option. Okay. If I feel that both the options are right, so what do I get to choose? Okay. So this particular thought process, when we develop this particular competency with right strategies, they will be able to pick whichever they find is best for them, whichever suits best at that particular moment. And if even they make mistake, the teachers and the parents, they need to be there to acknowledge and appreciate, okay, it's fine. Now in the coming days or maybe in the future, you can work on something else which is way more better than the choice that you made today. This type of conversation will make a lot of difference among the students. Now after this, understanding the five competencies. Yeah, thank you everybody for sharing this in the chat. They share their ideas with each other, focus on their interests, and distract other issues. Yes, thank you so much for saying. Now I'm giving you two options, and I have few things to say. So after understanding the previous one, let's say all these five competencies that are built by social emotional learning, offered by social emotional learning, and there are teachers in the classroom to make sure that these things are happening. And please remember that thing once again: it is a classroom. Classroom is a social environment. And you don't have to particularly teach each one of these just the way we write the name of the topic and the subject on the board and start explaining the concepts and all. You're not teaching a subject. Okay, this is something to be practiced every single day. Whatever you communicate, the way you communicate, the way you support, the way you encourage, the way you guide the students, and the way they are dealing with one another, it will have all these things included in it by default. The thing is, the way we want our students to be self aware, we also want to be aware, self aware of ourselves, like as teachers. When we stand and talk, what strategies am I offering? Is this strategy helping this social group or not? If it is not helping, then you need to identify that particular group activity that will make them communicate with each other properly, interact, and share their ideas with one another. Okay, now I'm giving you this option. So I'm giving you this two options, this or that. Okay, in the chat, you're gonna tell me which one do you prefer. Okay, the cluttered space, you can see how messy it looks. Uh, yeah, I totally agree with you, Miss Sarita. A classroom with messy desks, scattered papers, and unorganized materials. And the second one is the organized space. Maybe if you can look at both the pictures, both the images, you can see which one do you prefer. The one, a cluttered space. The second one is the organized space. A clean, organized classroom with accessible supplies and designated areas for different activities. Thank you everybody for saying that. And I need these answers from everybody. Come on, we have 62 people in the session today, and I'm getting the responses only from 5, 6, 10, 15 people. Everybody, come on. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I think there are 20, 25 people who have said I need the responses from everybody. You can say organized space any way you want. Some of you are saying that. Okay, whichever works for you, completely fine. Okay, cluttered space. You want the classroom to be messy. Okay. All right. So as teachers, we always want our classrooms to be neat, organized. So the benefit of keeping the classroom organized is whatever tools, resources, and other things that you keep, those resources are accessible to the learners. And any group activity or anything that you conduct, students know where to pick something from, where to sit, how to keep things properly. And at the same time, you also teach the students discipline. That's one aspect which many teachers actually focus on. Now the next question, the next thing on your screen. Oh, sorry, I'll go back. Okay. Teacher centered, a lecture only classroom where teacher does all the talking, or student centered, where a student centered environment with group uh, group work, discussions, and hands on activities. Which one do you prefer? Student centered, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much. Picture two. I got 4 responses, 5, 6, 7 now. Student centered. Okay, 900% people are saying, the members are saying that they prefer student centered. Great. Thank you so much for responding, everybody. Student centered classroom. The reason I have kept this particular slide in this presentation is, imagine and please remember, we are talking about social emotional learning, and social emotional learning. How is it making your environment into a thriving environment, changing, transforming your environment? When the teacher does all the talking all the time, it is actually stopping that environment. It is just teacher centered environment, teacher centered classroom. So when you make student centered classroom, that is when you are coming up with some ideas, some activities, some group activities, some, you're giving them some discussions to do. There are debates going on and there are hands on activities. So when you conduct these activities, students get to talk with each other. They collaborate, they debate, okay, with each other. They listen to what the other person is saying, and they also share their opinion. So when you have this student centered classroom where you have all these activities conducted in the class, that is when all the other competencies that you have heard before, social emotional learning, social awareness, or anything that you say, all those competencies will be easily built and supported by whatever strategies and group activities you offer. Sorry. So this is the reason why, if you have the student centered classroom, that will help you transform your learning environment, and social emotional learning, all the competencies will be happening together. Okay, when you see the interaction, the activities, the engagement, when you see there is a student who is not actually talking, the student is feeling shy or something, then how are the other students helping that particular student open up, talk? Okay, so when this thing is happening, what's going on? Right, there is something, right? I mean, students are now aware, okay, I need to get the opinion of my friend, so he has to talk. And when he talks, that is when you see whatever that happens during these activities, ultimately and silently, in the background, social emotional learning competencies are getting built. So students are actually working on those particular strategies. Now moving to the next part, exchanging ideas. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it should depend on the type of the subject being taught. Yes, in all the subjects, if you teach math, science, social studies, English, anything. So each subject, let's say there are lessons. So in each lesson, there are opportunities where you can give them some group activity, or maybe peer learning also. That's completely fine. I'm going to talk about grouping configuration in the coming slides. So please wait. Now the next thing is, how is the sitting arrangement that you have, like that you prefer? The first one is rigid sitting, so where there is no room for adjustment, it is limiting the movement, and collaboration is also difficult. And flexible seating arrangement, where there are options like, you can keep clusters of desks together, there is a standing table, and there are some floor cushions also, and that allows the students to learn wherever they want. Which type of Yes, 1 weak and one intelligent student can sit together. I agree with you. But normally, we don't say weak student. You can say emerging student, emerging, and the student who is really smart, you can say them as exceed student, or any other better terminologies. So flexible arrangement, yes, matters with students. Yes, definitely. I was actually going to talk about that. Flexible sitting arrangement. Everybody, come on. I got only 10 responses. I need from all the other members. Oh, slow boomer. That's another word, another term which we need to avoid these terminologies, because the words have meanings. So some words will always be like used or heard or interpreted in a negative sense. So we need to be careful with the choice of words that we use. So flexible seating. Thank you so much for everybody for saying that. Yes, flexible seating. Now I can also say you, it depends. The reason I have kept this particular slide is, when you say flexible seating, so now the question is, there are schools where there are benches which are like permanently kept in the classroom. You cannot move them. What do we do? You want to you want them to collaborate. How do you do it? That's a question. Because in the rigid sitting, it's impossible. Okay, that rigid seating, it's looking more like a conference room sitting. Like, how do we meet in the conference room? Uh, but in the classroom, when you want to conduct activities, so if you have this type of desks and this type of seating arrangements, it's easy. Students can move them. You can pick and keep it, arrange 5, 6 desks together, and make the students sit. Or maybe if there is a round circular table, the big circle where 5 students can sit together, that's possible. But there are schools, I'm giving a situation where there are benches. Okay, and this situation can be at your school also. I don't know, I'm not sure. So wherever you're joining from, maybe there are benches in the classroom where on each bench there are 3, 4 students, or maybe 2 students sit together. How do you want them to collaborate if you want to conduct an activity? Yeah, somebody said change always a place. So the people who are sitting, the students who are sitting in the on the front, front bench, you want to bring them back, and those who are sitting in the back, you want to bring them in front. In the front. Is that what you're saying? Change students, yes, changing that way. Okay. So for this particular matter, I'm actually looking for an answer for your perspective. Okay. How do you want the collaboration to happen when there are fixed benches in the classroom, which cannot be moved? But you want them to collaborate and learn. You want to have their social emotional competency being practiced in the classroom. So what I would suggest is, yeah, seat rotation, front and back, that way. So for that matter, you need to know there are different types of grouping configuration. Okay, the different types of groups that you make. So for that matter, I will just share the other screen. Okay, I guess you must be seeing this. So let's say if you have, you need to remember this grouping configuration. Okay, one, it's the whole class. Okay, where all the students are like, you're doing one activity where all the students are like doing together. Let's say there's some activity which you do in the ground, or maybe if the tables and chairs can be moved to the corner and you have the whole white space in the center. Okay, then you are doing that activity. Okay, that's one thing. The second one is individual work. Individual work, yes, but it's one single configuration for the whole class where you give them worksheets. When you conduct some mini assessments, some quick assessments or something, or maybe you want them to like think and write on their own, so you give them like individual work. What about pairing? Pairing is another one. Yeah, teamwork. According to subject activity, we can change places. Yes, I agree with you. So pairing, two students sitting together, they can collaborate with each other, right? Okay. And if you want to change, fixed benches are there in the classroom. So you're making that first bencher, one student to just go back and the second one to come in front. Both of them now talk to each other and do the activity. And then there are like small groups. When I say small group, I do not mean like 3 members, 4 members. They can be 4 or 5 members. Okay. So less than three is just pair, right? There are 2 members. How can you say that as a group? A group should be more than 2 people. So five, if you want to give 6 members, if you want to give 7 members, it's totally up to you. Okay. So you need to remember this type of different types of groups that you're planning. Now, whatever activity you conduct in the classroom, whatever activity you conduct in the classroom, whatever subject, whatever concept you are teaching, when you remember for this particular concept, what type of grouping configuration do I want? Do I want them to do pair work? Do I want to do them individually? Do I want to make a small group? Whatever works best based on the situation in the classroom. If you have this type of tables and chairs which can be moved easily, you can do all the types of grouping configuration that you saw. Individual work also, it's fine. You can make small groups, you can make pair, you can make large group also, and you can make the whole class also. It's totally up to you. So remembering and understanding this, the reason this grouping configuration is important, because whatever you do, if you're making a small group, you have to ensure that they're continuously interacting with each other and communicating. Okay. So next one is gonna be like the silent classroom, or you want them to like an interactive classroom. What do you want? Now the teachers might say most of the times you want them to be like silent in the class, right? Interactive. Thank you so much for saying interactive. I was actually thinking, okay, maybe some of you might say, okay, no, we want them to be like, sometimes, they have to be like silent. Okay, pin drop silence. I do not want anyone to talk. So, how do you want the classroom to be interactive? So, please remember, we all are talking about the impact of social emotional learning competencies in the classroom. Okay, so when you want to implement them, you are asking questions and making them interact. Okay, so when you are only limiting your communication only to 20% of the classroom, 80% of the classroom of the time, the teaching learning time, 80%, let's say, maybe more than half an hour, let's say, or half an hour, 10 minutes is what you take to explain the concept, and you're just instructing. You are providing them the tools, resources, materials, everything, and students, they themselves are using those materials, the facts, information, everything, and they're conducting and, I mean, participating in the activity. Yeah. Sometimes silence, yes. When you are explaining some important facts and giving them important information, yes. It depends. Yes, I totally agree with this. Also, silent when concept is new. Yes, we want them to listen. But at the same time, this should not be a common practice. Let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day I want them to be silent. No. When you're teaching some new concept or some key information, you prefer them to be like silent, listen, and understand, because we are following those social emotional learning also, right? Okay, when the teacher talks, you have to like, I mean, they have to be like a little bit silent and listen to them. Okay. And yeah, the other time, you want them to discuss, participate, and whenever there is an activity. So whenever there is an activity being conducted, please remember the golden rule I am saying: try to limit your communication for 20 to 20 minutes and let the students do the rest for 80 minutes of the time. Let them talk. You just be the silent spectator, sitting in the corner, or maybe just being in the corner anywhere, and seeing how they are responding, how they are participating in the activity. Okay, the next one is, now, this is also something you must have seen on the internet. One size fit all tasks. Whatever task we offer to the learners, is it like one task for everybody, the same thing, or you want to have a differentiated task? Differentiation. I want answers from everybody. The responses. What kind of the task that you offer the learners in the classroom? One task, okay, for everybody, or different tasks for different learners, different types of learners. And I totally agree with you with this particular point. I think someone might definitely say, okay, sometimes, I'm not saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all days of the week, you are going to the class with all differentiated instruction and trying to like make different activities and all that. If you do that, awesome, hats off to your dedication and effort. But like somebody said in for the previous one, when you're explaining some new concepts and there are some basic tasks or basic things, let's say, so some tasks can be given to the whole class. Please remember this: whenever we give an assigned task, remember the grouping configuration also. You give the task to the whole class because you want a generic or simple answer, simple like response from them. But when you want them to learn and practice, that is when you can have different tasks for them. And I'm not saying that all the different tasks should be given at once in one class itself. Today you are going with two, tomorrow you go with two, completely fine. Okay, you have the time to finish that particular lesson and chapter for that whole week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, whatever time you take to finish the lesson. So when you are done with explaining all the concepts, now you want them to practice. So what you're doing is you are trying all these strategies and different differentiation. So whatever concept that they did not learn and understand, or it didn't go well inside their brain, so now you are actually like going with different strategy that match to their learning need, and they learn it better. Or maybe in the classroom you pair them with that particular student who has understood. So this particular student is learning from his friend, so that also supports peer learning, and this is also a social emotional learning competency, right? So during my library period, I divide students in different groups and allow students to wave a story and tell a whole class. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that particular strategy. So you can also do this in your classroom. If you take your students to library or maybe in the class also, divide them, give them the task, make them do something, and you just collect it and say, this is what you have done. Great. Peer group learning. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Okay. After this, like whatever we do, whatever we have been talking and understanding right from the beginning, the classroom is, this is what the definition of ideal classroom is. wherever the classroom is, whatever the furniture is, however the space is. Okay, an ideal classroom is full of learning opportunities, supported by the tools and resources to enhance the learning experience for each child. So every classroom, even if this room where I am sitting, if you transform this, if you want this room to be as a classroom, so and there are students here, even this room will have those opportunities for them to learn and understand something. I know there are only blank walls here, but I'm here as a teacher. So what strategies, tools, and resources I'm offering them, and that becomes a learning opportunity for them. Okay. So, and that will ultimately contribute to the learning environment. So after this, there are few strategies which I'm actually showing based on this social emotional learning competency. Like I said, understanding social emotional learning and the competencies, that students are building over a period of time when the teachers are actually providing them that support. So something that you can do in all your classes. Okay, one thing is the emotional check-in, which normally all the teachers can do in the class. You can have a chart on the wall, any wall, and where you have all these emojis, and you're asking them to like write or maybe placing their name on that particular emoji that expresses their emotion. Okay, and this is something you have to do in the beginning of the class. And I'll ask you this question now. Right in the beginning of the class, what did I do after my introduction and after your introduction? We did this only. Like, how are you feeling today? And many of you said you're excited, you're happy, you're bored. And many of the members also said they are feeling tired. Yes, so I get to know what your emotions are because you're joining this session from different places, right? You're not sitting in front of me. The same way when the students come from different localities, different houses, and they are there in front of you, right? You ask and you check how they are feeling today. If you want to do this again at the end of the day, it's totally up to you. Let's say there's a student who was sad in the morning. Maybe something happened at his house, or maybe, no, no, maybe his toy broke, or maybe parents did not allow him to play with his iPad or mobile phone. So the child is really upset. Okay. So now, towards the end of the day, you try to like cheer that student or engage that student in some good activities. And now you're asking, okay, my child, how are you feeling now? And the child says, I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling relaxed. So you can do that in the morning, and you can also do that in the evening. At the end of the day also. Next thing is the student self-reflection journal, where this is all this whatever I'm showing is based on self-awareness. Okay, so they'll practice it and they'll learn it from you. So journal writing is also important. There are basic questions that like you can see here, what really went well today and what did not go well. What they do is they can simply write on a piece of paper, or maybe they can have a journal, maybe a notebook, where they write every day what their how their day went. Okay, this is also a good practice which you can do in the class. This will also help you understand that you are transforming your environment into a thriving environment where students, over a period of time, they express their emotions and you also support them back. Okay, something like this you can see on the screen, classroom emotions wheel. So you can have a particular emotion wheel also, where every day, like in the beginning of the session when I asked what are you feeling, many of you said you're happy, many of you said you're sad, I'm tired, excited, and all. So just like that, there can be different emojis, different colors to express that particular feeling, and you can have an average of the class. Let's say I'm coming into grade 2 or class 2. Okay, the moment I step in, I see the emotion wheel and I understand what the common emotion of this particular class is. Are they happy, are they sad? Okay, are they angry with something? Okay, and based on that, I'll help them out. Okay, next one from self management is this particular thing. In the beginning, like I said, self management is all about knowing that I'm angry and understanding how to manage myself. Yeah, that's also a good thing, the way you mentioned, Miss Taruna. So giving them a star and a smiley face also in the hand is also a good strategy. Thank you for saying that. So now here you are seeing this emotion management strategy. So when you're telling your learner, if you're feeling angry and you're upset with something, How do you manage yourself? So breathe in, breathe out. Do it 5 times. And now tell me, how are you feeling? Are you feeling a little bit okay? Are you feeling relaxed? Okay. So when you do this again and again, by default, learners will understand, if I'm angry, what do I have to do? The first thing, breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Do this again and again. And then their anger, their aggression, with whatever they're upset, everything will go down. So this is a very good strategy, which you can implement in your classroom, and your students over a period of time, they'll get the habit of doing this. Okay. They'll know how to manage their emotions. The next thing is, uh, what's happening? Okay. So the second thing which you can also offer your learners is, when you're angry or when you're upset, what do you need to do? Okay. And there are, you are suggesting some activities, some different things to do. Okay. Take deep breaths. Okay. This is one thing you have seen. Drink some water. Go for a walk. Talk to someone about how you feel. Sit in a quiet place for a while. Okay. And when you're feeling sad, okay, take deep breaths. Talk to someone about how you feel. Sit in a quiet place. Read a book of your choice, or maybe hug a toy. Okay. So these strategies will definitely help the learners understand how they are managing themselves. Okay. Next thing, which I'll show you on the screen. So this will cover all the three, let's say, the social awareness, the relationship skills, the decision making, and also the decision making skill relationship also. The first thing you see here, I mentioned the social environment, the classroom, how you build that with the help of the activities. So imagine when the students are sitting together and learning, and they're having this type of conversation. Okay, we are stuck at it again. Let's do the other way to find the answer. And the third student says, I agree with you. What is going on in this conversation? They are respecting each other, agreeing with each other, and together they're trying to solve a problem. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that developing the competency of social emotional learning? Isn't that going to help you transform your environment into a thriving learning environment where students know how to talk in a group, how to communicate, how to respect others, how to express their opinion and respect one another? That will be really amazing thing to do in the classroom. The second thing is, you need to conduct many collaborative projects where they share their knowledge with each other and learn from others perspectives, there are other opinions, and you can also be part of the group where you share your knowledge as an expert. And the third one, how you build that empathy, the decision making. Let's say, for example, you are giving them some situations. Let's say a new student joins your class and seems shy. During playtime, you notice she's sitting alone while everyone is playing in groups. What would you do? Okay. Talk to her and ask her to join the game, or leave her alone. So just like that, you can give them multiple situations where they'll understand what way, I need to deal with others. When I see somebody is having a problem, somebody is upset, somebody is struggling with maths or science or any other thing, and how should I approach them and how should I help them out? Similarly, in that particular environment, when you implement all these strategies and all, okay, all these strategies will also make each and every student understand how should they should be responding to each other. Okay. So now moving to the next one, whatever we discussed in the previous slides, everything concludes on this. The first important thing you need to understand and work on is changing and making your physical setting proper. Okay, the physical setting, that is the first important thing to transform your learning environment into a thriving learning environment. The physical setting based on social emotional learning strategies. Okay, if the benches are fixed, then what way you want to implement, so that they learn each other's perspective, and student centered learning also, where they share knowledge and information and learn with each other, not just teacher doing all the tasks, but there are students involved in the learning also. The second thing, the planning and teaching, the way you plan, you have to plan as many interactive sessions as you can, asking their questions, validating their opinion, and giving back them proper information. Then conducting hands-on activities and also conducting group and peer learning. Okay. The learning design, the way you differentiate, go with differentiated strategies and all, that's one important thing. And how do you make real life connections with whatever concepts you're teaching so that they learn quickly and remember it forever. And you're also offering them the choices in learning. Okay, if some student comes to you and says, I'm struggling with this, okay, can I just do this in the other way? And you say, okay, go ahead, great. You do it and come back to me. I'll see if that really helped you. Okay, that will be an amazing conversation between a student and a teacher. And the classroom routines, whatever the roles you keep in the classroom, the rules, the expectations, etc., and the way you manage the daily, weekly reports. Now, just to check, what kind of classroom setting you have in your classroom you teach. So maybe in the chat you can tell me what type of classroom setting, the physical setting you have in your classroom. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Many people are saying C and F. Mostly C, I guess, here. All the members, please tell me. Somebody said A, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. A and C got became similar slightly. Yeah, but there are two students here and there are one student. H. Okay. A and C. So whatever I explained, thank you so much for saying. Everybody, thank you so much. Yeah, now I'll take you back to what I said. The social environment, the activities, the way you conduct everything. If you focus on social emotional learning, so now with whatever you said right now, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you need to know how are you going to make use of this particular strategy, and how you will conduct the group learning, peer learning, and offer them other strategies based on social emotional learning, so that they interact with each other, learn from each other, and appreciate different perspectives, and support each other. Okay, the last part, we are coming to the conclusion. So here is the last thing, this one which I also showed. I'll quickly like finish this. Not just for the classroom environment, but in the academics also, social emotional learning has proven to be like a key player in transforming the students and helping them in academics too. The similar way, in the classroom, with whatever activities you conduct with grouping configuration and different strategies and whatever you implement, so these things will help the learners in a very different way. So these are some findings from the research. So we'll share this presentation with you so that you will have a look at it and you'll also understand. And now coming back to the last few things. So you can scan the particular this particular code to like join a WhatsApp community, or what I'll do is I'll just send this particular link in the chat. So we definitely want you to be part of our community, where please, whoever has not joined, please click on this and join our WhatsApp community. We will also send it on email, but at the same time, since we all are here, so we would request everyone to like do this. And before that, before you exit from this particular webinar, I have another request. So the people who are joining for the second and the third time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this particular message in the chat. No, the people who have joined only today, they can join. If you have not joined, it's time for you to join us. Okay. So please use this Padlet, and people who are joining for the second time and the third time, here are quick questions for you. So when you come to this particular site, we just want to understand our strategies, whether they are helping you or not, and how are you implementing them. Okay. So what you're going to do is, in the next 5 minutes, please, you can comment here. The first question, write the topic of the webinar you participated in. So the people who are joining for the second time and the third time, the people who are joining for the first time, if you want to do it, you can, but you have time now. This is Saturday. Whatever strategies and things you have learned today, if you want to implement them, in the next week, so you have time to like come back and give your opinion. So we will share this link there also. So please, definitely, please, I'm asking you and requesting you to uh, type here, all whatever you type and enter, it will directly come as a comment. So we would definitely read that and also see, okay, in what way we are going to make our next webinars even better. Okay, so this is all about Padlet and your opinion. Apart from that, we will be sharing this type of resources in the group also. Okay, so last time I have shown you all this. Okay, I think this and this, the other one, we have already shared in the group. So Case ID is not just here to conduct some online webinars and for teachers, but we also develop these type of resources, and we give away these resources to teachers for free. So to get these things, you need to be part of our community. Okay, and the lastly, which I say is, please go to LinkedIn, and we have our own page here, and we would request you to follow us there as well. So I'll share this link with you as well. Oh, sorry. Where was it? Yeah, sorry. This is our, yeah, sure. Actually, from the 40, 50 people, we have today, we have only like 15, 20 people who join our WhatsApp community. This is the reason, we are asking again and again to the members to join, because we would share the important updates, some tools, resources with you. You can download them, you can go to a classroom, you can teach the same thing, implement and see how those things are helping you. Just now I shared this LinkedIn page of our organization. So please click on the link. You will be directed to LinkedIn and you will view our company page there, K-Site. So please follow us there. And most importantly, please join our community also. Thank you everyone who already joined. Like I'm seeing the message, Ms. Sunita Tiwari and the other people also. So thank you so much for being the member. We would definitely like be sharing important resources, blogs also you can read on our in our community. And just now, my friend has already shared this padded link in the community group as well. So what you're gonna do is, please